And that's a very important point, because if you want to deploy to the environment, if you want to gain the efficiencies that are going to be required, you have to be on top of it or you will not be deployed. And it is a constantly evolving game that we're struggling with, both from a device perspective, from an application perspective, and vulnerability perspective. So Appian is very much, like Adina mentioned, you're taking a look at multiple layers, the device management, the network, the application level. And Appian running on the SIPRnet and running on DIS's deck knows the complexities that are required from the application perspective. Over the past 2 years, as we've been mobile-enabled, we've been working with the actual device manufacturers, with working groups across the DoD and federal civilian agencies to help deliver the policies, identify those best practices, so that we're continuously assessing the security threats, the new pieces that are coming out. We also deploy across multiple platforms. So with Appian, you click a box and we're actually deploying on iOS, on BlackBerry, and on Androids. And part of the reason why we do that is because no one quite knows what device our people are going to use,
Sure.
if it's bring your own device,
Sure.
or which one will win out in the end. And so what we want to do is take that decision apart away from the agencies and actually be prepared to support any of those platforms.
Right.
And Frank brings up another great point, especially with the DoD and some of the other agencies that are around, and there are still some without connectivity locations across the U.S. It brings different levels. So at DISA, we did a CAC-enabled sled on a STIG'd BlackBerry.
Right.
That will not work in some of the lockdown areas for the Air Force.
It's a point Tommy brought up earlier, too. There is no one-size-fits-all here.
There isn't. And so what we are constantly doing is working with our partners and agencies to help identify the policies and best practices that we've seen in the commercial space, but also the new use cases that are coming out because of the breadth and depth of business that's being performed by the federal government.
Yeah, terrific.